What's going on, y'all? Welcome back, man. It's been way too long. Obviously, we are here back at ECBU for today. Yeah, the mics are so fun to have back. We have gotten them replaced and everything, but we're back with the Everyday Witness. And what better way to kind of bring us back into it by introducing y'all to honestly one of my closest friends since the beginning of college and has been there from day one to day however long we're at now. But this right here is my boy Asher, and he is the man, the myth, the legend himself, my partner in crime and everything. So we're glad to have him, and we're going to kind of let him take away and kind of introduce himself, kind of how we met, and also kind of just where he's been from and how he came here. So Asher, take it away, man.
Shoot. So, what's up, guys? My name is Asher Duckworth. I know this guy since the fall of 22. I'm a senior now. We're both seniors, actually. It's pretty
Crazy work.
insane. Um, I met Paxton was at this carnival like in the middle of October. My boy Kason Medley was working there, and somehow we just bumped into each other, and then thought one of each other were cool. I kind of wish I knew the full one, but all I know that Paxton and I have the exact same energy. Just kind of took fly, and then all of a sudden he just walked with me and my boys all around the carnival. We just had a great time, and then here we are today, just on a podcast. And this is blessed to be here, and this is awesome. So our journey, us together for like 4 years, been an insane journey. I'm not gonna lie, this is awesome. So thank you, Paxton, for having me here, bro.
Nah, of course. So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody kind of where you're from and how where you grew up and everything, kind of how you came to ETBU and all that.
All right now. So originally I was born in California, Berkeley, and my mom was born in Oakland. So I only lived there for like 2 years. I really don't remember, but 2006, I moved to Rockwall, Texas, about 30 minutes out of Dallas. And same house, same neighborhood till this day. So I've seen like everything, grow and everything around that town. And I went to a small private school called Dallas Academy in East Dallas. Um, it's actually a learning different school. I have ADHD, slight dyslexia, so I had to like work on myself about that. And it was a challenge for me too, but the Lord helped me guide me, and He didn't let my disability affect me who I was as a person. And there was this counselor told my parents I was not going to make it through high school because of my disability, but my parents ignored that counselor. We trusted in God and just trusting in Him, and look where I'm at today. I'm about to be graduate December of 26,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just what the Lord has done. And speaking of the Lord, how I got to Him actually. I loved the Lord all my life. I really did. I going to church was a forever goal, and so I loved the Lord. But until 2016, so my dad was like a substitute pastor in this at this church called Greenville First Baptist, I think, in Greenville, Texas. And it was first Sunday, get the bread and the blood, and all of a sudden, I was trying to do communion. But my mom was like, "No, he can't have that." I was confused because I was like, I thought it was like a church tradition. We always do it, and while everyone was singing and stuff, my sister and brother, they gave their life to Christ when they were younger. My brother gave his life to Christ at my papa's old church, and then this church called Lake Point Church in Rockwall, where I'm from, of course. My sister gave her life to Christ there, and but I was like the only person in the family that I didn't give my life to Christ to. But that's when we get to the point is I told Jack, my little brother, I was like, "Hey, how come I can't do communion?" And my brother was trying to like lock in to do communion, but I was like, "Jack, like I love the Lord, like why can I do communion?" And he was like, "I love Jesus." I was like, "I know you love Jesus, but you didn't give your life to Christ." And that's when like my whole body just shut down. I was like this. I was upset. I was mad. And I was mad the whole ride. My parents trying to figure out why. And then that's when we got home, and that's when my dad had the talk, more like the gospel talk. And that's when for about an hour and a half he was explaining the gospel to me, and I was crying, and I was like, powerful. This was something I really needed, and like it hit me so hard. And I was like, love Jesus my whole life, but I didn't give my life to Christ. That's when you repent your sins, confess that He is Lord, and you believe that He died on the cross for your sins. My dad told me that. I said yes, and I was the last person in my family to give my life to Christ. Until this day, even with the good times or hard times throughout my life, I still trust in the Lord. I still believe that Jesus is King. I still believe, and I will never forget that I gave my life to Christ when I was an 11-year-old kid. I was 16.
It's pretty cool, man.
Thank you, Max. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So let me ask you this though: you ever been baptized?
I have literally,
Yeah.
I think it was a week after I gave my life to Christ. My siblings and I got baptized on the same day. My dad was, like I said, he was the 17th pastor, so he got to baptize all three of us.
That's awesome.
And that was definitely my dad's favorite memory. Just all three of us giving our life to Christ and just following on his path. And just, it was an amazing, amazing change. Because, like my dad told me, like, pretty much if you don't follow on the Christ's path, just separate yourself from God, you may be alive but dead. Because when you pass away, where you going to go? You ask people those questions, like, where you going to go one day? Well, the place you can go is heaven. Get there is with Jesus. That's what my dad told me all the time. I've seen my dad spread the gospel so many times in his life. Like back in November, I think it was like a 3-day revival at his hometown. My dad spread the gospel in his hometown, the town that he grew up in, born, raised there. And it's a sad town. It's called Crossett, Arkansas. Very sad town. And it's so powerful. My dad went out and spread the gospel in his hometown. And that's why I look up to my dad. How he actually gave he spread the gospel to me, and it's just truly amazing for what he has done for me. Helped me be a better man till this day. And I still remember the memory of me being baptized, and just never forget that. I'll forget my homework, but I will never forget that I gave my life to Christ.
Amen. I will say, being someone who also was baptized by his dad the same day as my brother at camp, my senior year of high school, it's definitely a really cool experience to kind of have that aspect to always live with you. Like the fact that no matter what happens in your life, that you have this one moment with your dad that you'll never forget, and being, especially also to share with your siblings. It's a really cool opportunity that you get to have to share with someone. That's really cool.
Yes, sir, dog.
Absolutely. But hey, obviously, with the new year comes new themes and new things to do with our podcast. And this year, we're starting something where we're going to be talking about a theme every episode. And lo and behold, me and Asher kind of talked about it in our first theme, and specifically for me, and also to talk with y'all about, is the idea of change. Now, for some of y'all who don't know, and I would be surprised if you don't know, but the idea of change is to the point where something in your life becomes something that you didn't used to be, whether it's a circumstance, a relationship, location, calling to something else, whatever that may be. Everybody goes through these changes. And the biggest thing I wanted to talk about with you, Asher, was kind of how both of us are kind of, we're pretty good with change, as far as we've dealt with it a lot, whether it's in relationships, whether it's with just how the school has changed since we got here, and also just kind of how our lives have changed throughout the past almost 4 years now.
100%.
So we've definitely seen some change come throughout the years. And for us, we've also seen how it's helped us out. But I mean, I'm kind of going to let you kind of steer this one a little bit with your story, because we're not taking away the stories. I love my stories. But I'm going to kind of let you kind of share your story, kind of how change has allowed you to see God in a way. So take it away, Ash.
So I met this guy this freshman year. I was here for 3 years. Well, I say that because I transferred literally at the end of my junior year, all because I failed a class, and I never failed a class in college before, and it really like low-key shut me down. So that's when I realized I made the decision, like, it's time to transfer. And I didn't really tell a lot of people that I transferred because like I feel like that's boasting. I feel like that's bragging. Some people said like you could at least let us know, but like I'm not gonna tell like text people or call people, oh, I'm not coming back, I'm transferring. Nah, I'm transferring. That's kind of like showing attention type stuff. So I was like, I just like I really ever told anybody, or really I never really thought of it. I just kind of like wing it. So that's when some people were like texting me like I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks after y'all started school, they were like, "Where's Asher?" and stuff. Like and everyone was like, oh, "He transferred. He transferred." I was like, "Oh." They did not know. They were shocked. So that was like I was pretty upset. I'm like, wish I could tell some people I transferred, but like I kind of like, don't want to be like a selfish guy. And throughout that time, when I was at this school called Collin College, there's like multiple campuses. There's just one in Wiley, Texas. That's like 20 minutes away from my house. So I drove like every day. And part of me was like, I was very socialized here at ETBU. I'm hyped all the time. My energy is there. I'm me, myself, and I. Like I'm hyped all the time. I got my energy and everything. When I get to Colin, I'm not myself who I was at ETBU. I was sad. I was like Loki kind of depressed. I wasn't myself. Like I couldn't be myself when I was at Colin College. It was every Monday through Friday. I wasn't sad when I was at church with my family or my church groups. I wasn't sad with my family when we have our hangouts. I wasn't sad when I'm by myself or on phone calls with Paxton and them throughout the few months of me being at Colin. I wasn't like sad at all with
Hey,
any of them.
Asher, who is that?
That's Raylan and Lorelai.
I was like, sorry, please
No, you're
continue.
good, dog. You're good. You're all good. What was
Anyways,
I?
continue.
No, you're
You were
good,
talking
bro.
about being yourself and everything.
Yes. So yeah, here at ETBU, I have that energy. I have the swag.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just who I am as a person. Not to like flex, because like that's literally who I am. Ever since I was like 10 years old, I've always been crazy in energy. That's who I am as a person. I'm never going to change of who I am. I love the way who I am. The Lord bless me of who I am. My name is Happy. I would never forget that. And like how y'all see it, like all my friends, they see me like, yeah, he's a happy person. I'm a crazy and energetic person. I'm also like a happy person too, and I love that. But I wasn't myself when I was at Collin College. Like I was only sad at school, not at church, not with my family, not with me by myself, or on the phone call with Paxton and them throughout the months. I was only sad at school because like there was no energy there. There was no excitement. I mean, I understand school is very important. Like I will totally accept that. But then there's times you gotta at least balance like your social life and your study life. That's what my dad told me ever since I got to college. It's good to balance those things because if you put your social life first, like having fun, and you put your school like down, okay, that's pretty bad because your grades could be bad or anything. I understand to put school up, but then your social life down. But then there's times like your brain needs to rest and relax because all this study of exams and projects just like tears you up. But when you balance it together, that's a college life right there. That's been my experience right there with change. And here I am. I came back in the spring semester. I told everyone that I was coming back. They're like, "Are you sure?" I said, "I promise y'all, I'm coming back." That's what my parents told me. They said like, "You get through Collin, get the credits, you come at ETBU. You're going to get your degree here. That's what the Lord wants you." And that was the Lord called me to do. Because like I said, like what was this one verse? I forgot, but I do remember it. It said, "We make our own plans, but the Lord tells us where to go." So if the Lord told me to transfer to Collin, I'm going to Collin. If He told me to stay at ETBU, I stay. No matter where the Lord tells you to go, you go and you stay on His path. Because His path is not just the best way, it's the right way. No matter what you're going through at your life, trust in the Lord. Like my favorite verse is Isaiah 60:22. When this time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen because His timing is perfect. His timing is awesome. And it's His timing, not mine. It's His glory, not mine. So that's my favorite verse. And when I graduate here at ETBU, I know they do like the verses for like the class ring or something. And I'll put my verse, Isaiah 60:22, right there to remember that His timing is perfect. His, not mine.
That's awesome to hear, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's funny because I also have a story kind of like yours. Because believe it or not, when Asher transferred here, was the moment that I had decided to transfer out, and I think he was one of the first people to find out. Him and at the time another person who was really close with me. But obviously, change is difficult, and for me, being at ETB for 3.5 years straight was a blessing, and it created so many great opportunities for me to grow as a person, also as a Christian, because I was allowing myself to get involved with people who were also wanting to help me grow in my life, in my spiritual life, in my physical life. And also at the same time, it was allowing me to become someone who God had meant for me to be. And I was becoming to find my purpose. And at the same time, with everything going on, I had some, like you said, I also kind of failed some classes and wasn't able to retain some stuff that I needed to. And with all
Mm.
that happening, I had to make the hard decision to leave my life here at ETBU and start a new one over in Louisiana. And Asher and all the guys to this day think that that was the moment kind of most things changed here because a light kind of left a little bit. But one thing I have realized through all that though is that even regardless of all the change with the everything me going to LSUS and Shreveport now, shout out pilots, 59-0, that's how we roll. But even with all that going on, I understood that I needed to be there because even when we least expect it, we know the Lord will provide. And that's one of the biggest things that's kind of been sticking with me through all this time is the fact that even with all this change and me leaving all the people that I loved, all the people that I cared for and that cared for me and that have been a part of my life for 4 whole years, teachers, students, faculty, everybody that's made me into who I am today, I had to realize that that was where I was comfortable. And the Christian life is not comfortable. The Christian life is a place where we as Christians have to understand that there are going to be hard times. And throughout the 3.5 years I was here, I never had hard times until that semester hit. And that's when I started to realize that I needed to put myself where I wasn't comfortable. And when I made that decision, I understood the severity of it and why I had to do it. But I also figured out that there was a reason God put me back in Shreveport. And because of that, now I get to work full time at a church where I grew up back at Broadmoor. Shout out more students, and got to serve there as a volunteer with student ministry until we finish school out and possibly get hired full time for ministry. But also, it's allowed me to be a part of the lives of some students that I had grown up being around a lot, and it gave me an opportunity to be a part of their lives again, to go do what I do best, showing up for people, and got to show up for a lot of basketball games, a lot of soccer, football games, and everybody for everything and just be a part not only of their lives but also being back with my family, being back with my little sister, my mom, my dad, who here at ETBU I never got to saw except for when they came up here for games. So being able to be back in a part of my family's life has been a true blessing. And shout out to the dog we're about to get. That's a pretty cool thing too.
Cool beans.
I'd hope I don't squash it. But at the same time,
Stop
I
it.
understand that change for us as Christians is also hard because we tend to see change as a way of God showing us that there's something better involved. And even when it's relationships, when relationships don't end up, I know how that could be. But even when relationships don't end up the way you want to, God's got a plan for it. When the grade doesn't come in, you don't like it, God's got a plan for that. When God takes a certain person out of your life and doesn't let you back in theirs, God has a plan for that. When he puts people in your lives, God has a plan for that. And the reason we understand that is because we know that God already knows what we're about to say, what we're about to do, and everything. And whether we don't realize it or not, his way is always better. I'm not quoting Forrest Frank like that, but his way is better 100% of the time. And when we rely on ourselves instead of God, that's when we start to see the devil start to creep in. But when we fully give ourselves to God and understand that no matter what is going on, that we can have this idea of just peace with everything going on in our lives, that is when God works so fully. And I mean, that's the cool part about me because, like, when I got to Broadmoor, they needed volunteers for Wednesday nights. And what did I do? I called up my boys. And when they exactly do, they showed up whenever I needed them. So Asher serving with me Wednesday nights now at Broadmoor has been really cool. Serving at D now next week too. Shout out more students.
Yes, sir.
We're ready for y'all. And Luis and Carter and Tuff and Haley showed up for a little while too. Shout out Haley. We love her to death for helping out with us too. But understanding that change is rough for some of us too. It can be hard. Change can hurt us emotionally with relationships ending and just with people dying and people leaving our lives. Like we tend to hold on to what we feel comfortable with, and when that comfortable loses its value, we start to see how the devil can creep in, and we start to see how we can become, I guess the word is unresponsive to what the Lord has called us to do. But we know that through the trials that we will rejoice in the trials and tribulations, for they produce steadfastness of our faith. I still don't know what that verse is. I gotta figure that out.
I
But we
know.
understand that no matter what, there is joy in the morning, and there is peace with knowing that God has control. But I did want to also kind of ask, kind of debating on asking this because I know kind of it's a little personal, but what was the biggest, I want to say the biggest struggle, but like what was the biggest thing that you realized during your change, whether it was going away from and going back to ETBU? Like what was the biggest thing you realized kind of when you were there and when you came back that God was showing you the most through the change? Like maybe it was a person that kind of helped you, or maybe it was a situation, or maybe just the community you were around. Like what was the biggest thing that helped you with all that change, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, you're good. Let's see. I'll admit I was stressing a lot,
Yeah.
hardcore stressing, and I was like low key stressing like every day, and it was like it was bringing me down, and then my little sister Leah, um, she's my little sister, and she helped me through that. She prayed with me. She gave me Bible verses to read. Um, Whenever times I go like I walk in a room because as a big brother I'm gonna clown my little sister, but then I look around the room. She has like a bunch of Bible verses, and in all her Bible verses, low key encourage me. And the more I look at her Bible verses, and the more she pray with me, the more I start to pray more and worry less. And she low key got me to help me to pray more. Like I prayed in the morning, and then like I forget like throughout the day, but also I learned to like talk to God throughout the day. Like, say if you're in a Chick-fil-A line and you're just waiting for your food or whatever, talk to God in your head. If you're walking in the middle of the night, talk to God. And that's what helped me through. She told me to go have my one-on-one talk with God. Like, whenever you're not busy with school, you have nothing to do, go talk to God. And that's what I did throughout the time when I was at college. When I was feeling to feel like a little sad and stressed, whatever it was, school or anything in my life, I go out and talk to God. And ever since then, my grades got better. I started to be more comfortable asking for help. I like I was like myself again, and so pretty much my big thing was like my family. They've been there for me. My brother helped me with Loki a couple school stuff throughout the time. I'm like, dang, you are pretty smart. I think that's why you're going to Stanford. And then my sister, she's smart too. Like they're both smart, but they're also hard workers too, and they'll do
Mm-hmm.
anything to help their big bro. And that's why I'm just grateful that I'm glad they're both in my life. I'm grateful for my parents that back me up for things, asking me for help. I think they helped me with a few homeworks, this and that. And I've done a pretty good job with them, and just them praying for me, encouraging me, and it's just a blessing. So Lord called wasn't it wasn't just like, oh, you have to transfer. Lord like called me to come home and transfer, to get closer with my family, to be with them. Because my siblings are graduate this year, and it's gonna be a big change, really, because
Mm-hmm.
my siblings, while my brother goes to college and my sister goes to college, and me finish my last semester at ETBU, my parents are gonna be the only ones at the house. They're like, all of our kids are grown up, and even till this day too, like I'll admit I'm stressing too with school, but like I have to remember what my sister said. I have people around here at ETBU encouraging me and praying for me because a lot of them know that I'm hard on myself. I admit to them, I gotta stop being hard on myself. The more I be hard on myself, the more all that stress is gonna bring me down because the devil is bringing that stress to me. Can't let the devil win. He'll never win. God will always win. Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
His Son, Holy Spirit, one disciple, win, win. And that's why I got better of just reading the verse of the day. I also have this book. It's called Touch Points for Men, and it just kind of learns of how to be a better Christian man, and it gives you like touch points about accountability or about your spiritual life, just anything that we'll all be going through, and just that helped me throughout that time. My godmother actually gave that to me for Christmas, and I think it was a really amazing gift. She got one from me, my brother, and my sister. So I think it's touch points for women, touch points for men. Yeah, and it was just reading that book, just constantly just pray every day, every morning, every night, even the afternoons too. And I had a wonderful week of just what God has done for me. I can't wait for next week. It's a spirit renewal, and then literally Thursday, of course, we have D Noun.
Boom.
Gonna be awesome. I'm super hyped for that because literally when Thursday hits, I want to get all my classes over with. So my boy Luis and I get in the car and just boom, be there for the first session, and just
Have all four of y'all there.
oh, it's gonna be great. And just like the gift he gave us, I don't do it for the earthly things. I do it for the heavenly things, and I can't wait to like connect with the young bloods, with the seniors, and just telling Jesus to them, something that they can change their lives for, and just telling like what has God done for me, and just how we all just having a great time and glorifying Him, not for the earthly things. And that's what I realized, especially when I worked at a camp in Mount Lebanon in Cedar Hill with Luis's church, Oakland Heights. I literally that first week I was like, I'm not here to like be a cool person. I'm not here to like flex. I'm here to glorify the Lord's kingdom. And it was a wonderful, amazing week. I felt the Holy Spirit. It was awesome. And I remember I spread the gospel with like three of our campers, and they gave their life to Christ. And that's what God's calling me to do, and just glorify His heavenly things, not the earthly things.
It's really cool to hear.
Thank you, man.
For me, sitting here, hearing one of my best friends share the gospel pretty much to y'all, and at the same time, also to me at the same time. It's just really cool to see, because if you would have told me 4 years ago pretty much that we would be sitting here doing this right now, I would have thought you were crazy. One, because talking in front of camera is not fun. It's pretty sucks. And
yeah, I think
it's
I
also a little
stuttered a couple
scary.
times.
Oh, I definitely did. I'm looking at me right now. It's kind of freaky. But like I said, it's really cool to see how even through all the craziness of our lives and the crazy stuff we've been, good Lord, the amount of crazy situations, sequences, and places we've been, that we're still closer than ever and still to this day growing strong. So it was a really cool opportunity. But obviously, the big question that I have for you, and I have to everybody, because I think it's really cool to see how kind of the Lord uses different stories in our lives, but also in the lives of the people in the Bible to kind of prolong our faith and kind of exuberate our faith in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to know, is there a specific passage of the Bible, story, Bible verse? You can pick one, you can pick both, it doesn't matter. But is there a specific Bible verse or story that kind of just has been stuck with you and kind of just allows you to be kind of who you are and has kind of led you to who you are today?
That's a good question. This was a big one. Man, I can remember this one. I think it was like maybe actually from the verse of the day. I think it said, Jesus said, He is the way. He said, I am the way and the truth and the life. And no one can go through me except the Father and Him. I think what was the verse of the day today? And that's when I realized, yeah, Jesus is up here. He's perfect. Like if you make mistakes, you got to get better and better and better. Not perfect, because no one's perfect except for who? Jesus.
Amen.
And I think one of us like, whatever you do, do it for the Lord. Do it for Him. He gave you that gift. And that stuck with me. And just having like family around you will back you up. Like my brother. Like, that's my brother. We're gonna clown each other. We're gonna like make fun of each other. But I'm not gonna hurt my brother, even like he clowns me or this and that. Or be jealous of my brother. Because people are kind of like, man, I wish you could play in college, Asher. But let me tell you something. My brother went to a big school. I went to a learning small different school. So it was hard for me to get looked at with sports. It was hard for me. My brother went to a school that like a lot of people like recruits in like the country and the states, like they know that school. And everyone tells me, "Are you proud of your brother's accomplishments with football and everything?" 100%, I'm proud of my brother's accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Cain murdered his brother Abel. Like seriously. And that's how I kind of like I put it that way. I'm not gonna like jealousy, because jealousy is a sin. Because that shows that Cain was not a brother to Abel. And it's just like, that's your brother. Because his accomplishments and God blessing him, and you want to get jealous and you want to murder him in the field. I'm proud of my brother, what he has done. He worked hard for his accomplishments, and I'm blessed with the life I have because I just went to a different school. I'm short too, but hey, like in that GOAT movie, you're never too small to dream big. Just got to put it out there.
You've already seen it?
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. You got to go see it.
I'm down to go see it with y'all. I'm down to go see it. If y'all are down to see it again, I need to go see it anyway. But
yes, and I was gonna say, and yeah, it was hard for me to get looked at by sports. But guess what? I graduate college. I play in the summer league, a couple summers and stuff. Like especially last summer with my girl Emily Diaz. We got to run it back for real. Gotta get that ring, and just
where's the invite?
Oh yeah,
where's the invite, Emily? Not messing.
Oh. And just like, I'm still athletic, but like, I use my legs to have fun, and also just I thank the Lord for Him giving me the ability to like go out and play basketball. Like, oh my bad, play basketball because that's my sport, and to still like even though I'm 21 years old, I feel like I'm 16 again, and it just like that shows I've been good at taking care of my body, and I feel like I could hoop till this day, but I gotta put the grades first because no pass, no play. But yeah, but the Lord's blessing me, and there's still opportunities for me to coach. My dad said there's probably some coach opportunities, like because he knows the athletic director, and it could be some spots I can go coach somewhere in the Plano area,
yeah,
or may want to coach somewhere maybe in Tyler, have some experience there. But just we all have different paths, like all siblings and our friends, we all have different paths, but we all have the same goal. The gifts the Lord gave us, we do it to glorify Him, not for the fans, not for the world. We do it for Him. So that's right. That's my big question you asked.
I like that, man. Well, this has been a really cool opportunity for me to kind of get to also know a little more about you that I haven't really known about too much about yet, even in the 4 years of us knowing each other, getting personal and all that. Bro. But with the new season, I obviously want to do something cool. So I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. But I got this shoe. I had this shoe, and Asher remembers this shoe because this was from camp almost 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did that summer was, these are also $20, so I promise I didn't ruin a huge pair of Air Forces. But this shoe I bought for $20 at a good old Uptown Cheapskate. Love my thrifters. But I bought it, and I had all the kids and the counselors from the camp I worked at sign this shoe before I left the last day. And what I wanted to start doing was also not only have the kids sign the shoe, but also the people who get to be a part of this really cool thing also sign the shoe as well. So Asher, here is a Sharpie, and you can sign that. And while you're doing that, I'm kind of going to tell people about some things real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
It's a really cool opportunity for me to kind of remember. You can put the date on there too, probably. That'd be really cool.
Got you, bro.
I don't know what it is. No, it's 21st. It's my dad's birthday. But anyways, real quick announcements for y'all. One, obviously, this is a new season. We're going to have a lot of really cool people, not only from this area, but also mainly from Shreveport area, because that's where I'll be hanging at. But we're going to have some really cool people on the podcast, and I'm really excited to do it. Look at that. It looks all nice and neat. Look at that. We love that. But also, this coming week, we will be at a D now for the weekend for my home church I work at now. And with that, there's going to be a vlog coming out, so y'all might want to tune in for that. But also, if any of y'all know anyone that is interested, I'll be on this podcast. I have a few people lined up, but I'm always looking for more. If y'all have anybody who is interested in being on here and sharing their story, we're really excited to have the opportunity to have them on there. And please let me know. We'd love to have them. But obviously, give it up for my boy Asher. Love him. Love him being on here. You come for yourself.
I did? Oh, wow.
But love Asher, and we're excited for him with this new part of his journey, coming back to ETSBU and also coming to serve with Broadmoor. Love more students, and he loves it all too. So he's excited to be a bigger part of that this coming week and forever on.
Yes, sir. Rookies, I'm coming for y'all.
Watch out, 9 square in the air. He's coming for you.
Come on, bro.
But Asher, appreciate you, my boy.
Thank you, Paxton boy, my guy for life.
And as always, remember, God loves you bunches, and peace out, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Keep him first.
Yup.